bit sassy, a little bit crazy, a little bit classy. We got dreams and we got goals. We're just a couple of old sassholes.
Hi.
Hello.
Jello.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome to A Couple of Sassholes podcast. I'm Brooklyn Johnson.
And I'm Heather Terry.
And for all of you that don't know, or for those that do and just like to hear me say it again, this is our power hour of true crime where we talk about fucked up people doing fucked up shit for fucked up reasons.
Or sometimes no reason at all.
Exactly.
That's usually what you said.
Or just dumb reasons. I just realized that big Wonder Boy sign isn't behind us. That just threw me.
In our studio.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, wait, what? What just happened?
She gone.
Yeah. I want to know where that's at.
Yeah.
I have questions. It's in another room. See?
Okay.
We got answers.
We did.
We had questions and then we got answers.
That's good. Makes for a good audio project.
Yes. So things are happening. What's happening?
Things are happening. Oh, I want you to keep singing that.
I can never continue singing anything unless it's a fucking beautiful Christmas song or something on the Hocus Pocus soundtrack.
Sing Christmas.
I can't remember any words to any song.
Speaking of Halloween, you guys, we have an exciting news that this is coming out in like 2 or 3 weeks. So it's already out and proud. It's out and proud. No.
And then Heather just stares at me. I'm like, dude, I totally thought you were about to fucking say it. We have a fucking live event booked, bitches.
We have another live event. Hopefully tickets are sold out by now.
Oh my God. I pray that they're sold out or I'm just going to have to like tuck my tail right between my legs and fucking scurry on underneath the bed.
Yes. It is October 6th at the Bayside at the Party Space Place. And there's a
Facebook.
Facebook.
Proud sponsor.
Yes. So is Wonder Boy. Thank you. And you can search that on Facebook. What's it called? A Couple of Sassholes Presents Screen Queens.
Nope. A Couple of Sassholes Presents Murder and Mimosas.
There we go.
Scream Queens, a live podcast recording.
Rolls off the tongue.
Right off the tongue. We're super pumped. This is going to be unlike any other event that we've done.
Yes.
Because we've only done one other one.
It's going to be unlike all of the one.
Yes. It's not going to be like the previous one.
No.
Big differences here is there's a ticket price.
There is, because you get things with it, and we're going to zhuzh it up. Last time we just had to dip our toe in the water. We had to we just flashed a little boob just to see how many beads we'd get. And then
is anyone going to come?
And then we got a lot of beads. So the titties are coming all the way out now.
Yeah. You and tits right now.
Oh, you said it first.
I did not. I just said I was going to take off my shirt because if I got hot. And for anyone that doesn't know, because no one knows what I'm wearing a tank top and a button up. So I meant the button up. Not just sitting here, yachties out.
Yachties out.
Yachties. I don't even think I'm wearing a cute bra today. So that's a hard pass. Anyway.
Honeymoon phase is over.
For who?
For us.
I don't wear hot bras for you, weirdo. Just trying to make Heather feel uncomfortable. Yeah. Which is literally a goal of mine every day that I wake up. No. Okay, so our live event, there are tickets. You have general admission, and then you also have VIP. Obviously, there's a murder mimosa concept, so that does indeed mean that there's going to be some mimosas.
Yes.
And we're working with Allison, who's awesome, and so the space is going to be just fabulous. There's going to be merch. There's going to be joy.
Merch and joy.
Merch and joy.
That's right. Yeah, Allison Sanders is awesome. It's going to be great.
It is going to be great. So if you haven't gotten tickets, you should.
Yes.
It's going to be the largest of the times.
Yes. October 6th. Come see us.
Yes. That's a Sunday and it's in the morning. So it's like not the morning. It's in the afternoon. Yeah. The doors open at noon. The party starts at 1.
That's right.
We'll be ratched out, done, fucking limp dicked by 4. So you can still get back to...
By 3, you can do the photo booth.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be great. Anyway, everything's going to be wonderful. Yes. You can go to Walmart because it's kind of by Walmart.
Oh, we're doing that.
Yeah. No, we do need to.
Yeah.
Why not? But probably not that day. I'm going to be riding the high of our successes. Speaking of riding the high.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you a story?
You know, not really. No, yeah.
I That's weird. Okay. So my research came from New York Times, Washington Post, Wikipedia, Criminal Minds, Wikipedia, something else that I forgot to write down. It happened that way.
Yeah.
Firstly,
Okay.
I know that we never talk about mass shootings. And I was actually listening to this other, I guess like a podcast. I'm going to call it a podcast. I don't know if it was a podcast or if it was like a YouTube channel. It is what it is, right? Tomato. And she was talking about how no one talks about mass shootings. And it's mostly because of the fucking epidemic that is mass shootings for us in the United States. And so we never glorify anything. We try specifically not to glorify anything, but true crime and the love of true crime is a fucking thing. People are infatuated with understanding why humans do bad things to other humans and all of these things. And it's, anyway.
Yeah.
It sucks what we're talking about. Once more, I hate to do it, but I'm not going to get a lot into the victim. I'm pretty much today, or not the victim, the victims, damn near just telling you a story of what happened. And that is almost all the time we have is for me to explain what went down. Have you ever heard of the 1999 Atlanta day trading firm shootings?
I don't think so.
Why not?
I don't, because how old was I then? Math is hard.
I don't know.
14.
I don't know, like 52. Heather's birthday is in a month, and I put on her calendar for me and Travis and Will. Heather's 50th birthday dinner.
She sure did.
I did, because I'm a funny broad. I'm looking him up because I specifically need you to see. This is Mark Orrin Barton, and he is the one who did all of this. And I need you to see because I need you to be like, never would I ever have guessed.
No, he looks like the Blue's Clues guy's cousin or something. He's got like the stripes on, and
he does.
He looks like he would just do
he
your
100%
taxes.
Looks like he works in an office, has a solid 401k.
He's one of the switcheroos where you're, because some people you look at him and you're like, oh, you've done something bad.
Yeah, you
but
got
this
them
one
hateful
is,
eyes.
Yeah, this one is definitely he looks like a soccer dad.
For sure. Mm-hmm. Yep. He looks like he irons his shirts. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, God. Here we go. Okay.
All right. So the story is a bit different for me because it's a mass shooting and we never cover those, as we've literally talked about the fact that they're fucking every other day here anymore, sadly. Mm-hmm. And it's a crazy story because there's a lot of unlayering. So we're going to peel this fucking onion together. We're going to put on our goggles. We're going to get out the kitchen knife. We're going to cut it in half. We're going to start
with goggles.
No, I wish I did.
Because you don't like to cry, so I can't imagine you crying because you're cooking. Like that would be even more, like involuntarily crying out of your eyeballs.
I think crying sucks. No matter how, my eyes want to release the liquids. Not a fan. Okay, so let's get to getting.
All right.
So we have Mark Orrin Barton. He's a 44-year-old man during the time of the main festivities. I shouldn't say festivities, activities. He is born in Stockbridge, Georgia, back in 1955. His family was stationed in Germany due to his dad's job, and he's a smart kid, little distant emotionally, and he's a bit of a loner. He dabbles in some drugs in high school, don't we all? Except for he kind of... Homeboy he went in. It was mostly hallucinogenic ones, and he did a few stints in hospitals for actually overdosing.
Jesus.
So my first time whenever I went out, I was like, dude, we all tripped them balls in high school. And then I look and I was like, but not all of us did a few stints in hospitals for overdosing. I couldn't even fathom overdosing on like acid. I feel like I overdose on weed sometimes. Like, how the fuck? How the fuck? Let alone like where the walls are bleeding. I can't do it.
That would be terrifying. Man, I just like OD'd on Boone's Farm in high school in a field when I was supposed to be at a sleepover, like all of us. That's pretty much it.
I didn't do that.
You didn't do. Oh, you were a good kid.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
She's a good kid.
So while he was attending Clemson University and later the University of South Carolina, he actually committed a robbery in order to pay for his drug abuse. Mm-hmm. He was caught. He was charged for the crime, and then he had to undergo drug and psychiatric therapy. All shit I wouldn't have expected.
Yeah, no.
But I guess whenever we're talking about the 1999 Atlanta day trading firm shootings, another thing that rolls off the tongue,
right?
You can see that there was some obvious issues that were going on early for it.
Yes.
Or it was just he really liked them drugs. you know?
Flags on the play either way.
Yes. So he moves through this time in his life and he graduates from the University of South Carolina in 1979 and he moves to Atlanta, Georgia. He meets the lovely Deborah Spivey, who he later marries. The couple moves to Arkansas after Barton became the presidente of a manufacturing company.
Oh.
Wow. Somebody's got a big old brain up in there. They end up having 2 children together named Matthew and Michelle. I read this is what always like tickles my pickle, is I was reading a story on this from like a online newspaper article whenever it happened. I guess not online. I don't know what was happening in 99. I guess just a newspaper. And they say they imply that one of the kids is a stepkid. And it's just interesting to see how they like reported incorrectly on accident. Oh. Do you know what I mean? Like it was before they realized, because everything I read is that he had those 2 children with her.
People just be saying stuff.
I mean,
just be
ain't that stuff. Man? I'm about to get that tattooed on my forearm. People just be saying stuff. That is probably the biggest piece of knowledge you've ever dropped on me.
I do that from time to time.
Yeah.
I can't let the cat out of the bag all the way up front. I got to just sprinkle it in and keep you interested.
Just have a bag and I share some every once in a while. That's about what I get with that. Anyway, so he has kids. He's the president of a manufacturing company. He's a tall white male. He has nice white teeth. Life is really going pretty well for him.
Okay.
But Mark he's not all there. I mostly don't think that he ever was, just because of everything that fucking happens. You kind of wonder what else was going on up in Pirates Cove.
Yeah. How do you
as we carry on with the story?
Like that?
The script is currently there and it's currently kind of already fucked up.
Yeah, it's like,
but let me tell you more, because there's so much more.
Okay.
So he ends up getting paranoid. Let's just fucking layer on the crazy. So it's never a good thing in a marriage or in work, honestly. And basically shit just hits all the fans.
All the fans.
All the fans. He ends up being fired from his position in 1990, which then causes him to sabotage the fucking company's data files.
Oh.
Like that shit is legal and or a smart course of action after you're the fucking president and you get fired. He ends up having to take his family and they move back to Georgia after he completes a stint in jail.
Oh.
For fucking... He gets fired and he's the president of a company and then he fucking basically deletes all their data files.
I mean...
Spicy, man. What a reaction. What a fucking reaction.
Yeah, that's...
Like, I'm not going to get in trouble for this.
The ultimate fuck you.
I guess so. Oh, you want to fire me? Delete.
Cool. Have fun. Well, back then I wonder if it's not delete, if it's like had to burn it.
Well, I mean... Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to dump coffee all over these file folders, motherfuckers, and now you just hit a button.
Right? Well, now you really can't because everything's in the cloud anyway. That's where them nudes be sitting. All right. So he's sort of a dumpster fire, and then he's like, fuck it. You know what I want to do? Start an affair.
What?
So he meets Leanne Lang, and it appears that his wife, Deborah, knew about it, but she never said anything.
I mean, it's not like he's a prize pig.
I don't know. He was pretty
ex-con.
Good. He's not
got
an ex-con.
Fired. He went to jail.
He did a short stint
in jail.
An ex-con, though, is like a convict. Like, to me, is a little... Well, you know what? I guess technically you're right.
Technically, on paper, he is a felon.
He's not a felon. It wasn't. She's like, I haven't seen the court information, but he is a felon. Yes. I'm like, it could have been a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
Though I don't know how often you go to jail for a misdemeanor. I don't fucking know.
What I'm saying is, it's not like he was a prize. So
yeah, but he's tall and hot.
Some people back then would just put up with shit just to put up with shit. Like, well, I have his money or I have this, and I'm like, I have questions.
She had kids with him. The number one excuse for any shitty situation to lay in that bathtub of muck.
Yeah.
Is, well, he's the father of my kid. So anyway, I don't know. She ends up, so she's a journaler too. So way to go, Deborah. And she filled her journal with pages describing her love for her husband, her joy at watching him with their children. And then suddenly she wrote of watching her husband as he mowed the lawn, hoping that he wouldn't come inside so that she wouldn't have to see his rage.
Oh.
So at some point, something had shifted. It broke. It snapped. Like their relationship was dwindling. It was probably him fucking that bitch from his previous job. So at one point he was a chemist and he had met Leanne. And so that had happened. and he had the affair and then all that fun stuff. Now, just 3 years after his outbursts at the manufacturing company on the weekend of Labor Day, Deborah and her mother, Eloise, were found bludgeoned to death in a camper at the edge of an Alabama lake. They were on a weekend fishing trip away from their homes in Lithia Springs, Georgia. The local sheriff never found the sharp, heavy blade that was used to murder the two women. There was never an arrest. Law enforcement officials and the women's relatives have long considered that it was Mark the entire time.
Yeah.
He was the one and only suspect in the deaths of his wife and his mother-in-law. After everything else I tell you, Deborah's family had said that there should have been so many more lives saved if they had just dug deeper and found what they needed to essentially prove that Mark was the one who did this. Because of these murders, he was hardly unknown to the authorities, obviously, because the authorities believed it was him too. Now, several months later, in February of 1994, Georgia child welfare officials and the Douglas County of Georgia District of Attorney's Office began to investigate him yet again because his daughter had told a daycare worker that he had molested her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oof.
So the police officers obviously were concerned about the context, and he was not only for that, but that he was still the prime murder suspect. And one of the officers is like, it still just fucking rocks me to this day. Ultimately, nothing could be done to challenge Mr. Barton's custody because the child was too young to testify. And during the investigation, he was evaluated by a clinical psychologist who found that he certainly was capable of homicidal thought and homicidal action.
Yeah.
So you have a confirmation that a child says that they're molested by their dad.
Mm-hmm.
The dad also is the number one prime suspect for 2 murders.
Yes.
She couldn't go into custody with anyone else because he murdered her mother.
Yeah.
Let's just carry on. Let's just...
That's a fail.
No, there's more things that make sense, like him getting the fucking money from...
What?
Yeah.
No.
So obviously, as I mentioned, that the suspicion is all over him. Investigators said that he had taken out a $600,000 life insurance policy on his wife 4 days before her death. Yeah.
He didn't even wait a week.
No.
He's the worst.
He is the worst. And they were known to be having marital problems.
Marital problems.
And because he was already having an affair with the woman that would become his second wife.
Ooh, so spicy.
So spicy.
Fuck this guy. Keep going.
Yeah. They found traces whenever, after Deborah was murdered, they did find traces that might be blood in his car. But before they could do any more tests on it, and he was a chemist, he spilled a soft drink on the area, which would ruin any of the potential evidence. Yeah. Coca-Cola, motherfuckers.
I mean,
I literally saw Heather's light bulb come on. I was like, I never would have thought of that ever. But Coca-Cola is literally used to get rust off of fucking screwdrivers. So I wouldn't be shocked that it would eat through blood on carpet.
That's wild.
They said that he gave them answers that sounded very rehearsed and that he refused to take a polygraph test.
Not shocked there.
Now, the Investors Life Insurance of Nebraska, who issued the policy, settled for his claim was $450,000, but they gave him $150,000 that went to a trust fund for the children.
So the money went to his kids at least, right? Am I hearing you right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I feel like I'm going to get mad here in a minute.
Yes.
Okay.
So he's considered a prime suspect, as I've said 1,000 fucking times, of that double homicide, but the charges against him were dropped.
Why?
As they couldn't put him at the campground. That was the number one thing, is they couldn't put him at the campground.
Or
I don't fucking know.
Dude.
There weren't cell phones fucking bebopping all over towers and shit.
I was at home and they were like, oh, okay.
Pretty much.
That's bizarre.
The system failed this one.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Now I understand too. No one's going through past cases with a fine tooth comb on the fact that he's been hospitalized. He is explosive. He was arrested for damaging fucking property.
Yeah. He's an accused
murderer,
Chester, the molester, and murderer.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. They're like, well, we can't say that he was there. Ugh.
Well, you know what obviously makes sense is after you murder your wife and her mom, that you then marry the woman you had the affair with. So he did that. He married Leanne in 1995. Now, if you can fathom this, their marriage was indeed rocky.
What?
I know.
I mean, he sounds like a stand-up dude.
His mental health is completely falling apart. It doesn't help that he spends his ex-wife's... This is the other thing, too. So then I hear that he spent his ex-wife's life insurance policy money. But then I also read, and I think this is the actual... what really happened, is he ends up becoming like a day trader, and he loses hundreds and thousands of dollars of his own personal income day trading at his current workplaces. So he worked at Momentum Securities and the All Tech Investment Group. Workers at both offices had come to nickname him as the Rocket due to his explosive nature.
Jeez.
Now, before everything happens here, his wife had actually moved out and she had gotten an apartment. A 2-bedroom apartment elsewhere.
Okay.
And then the neighbors, here's what's interesting. So 3 weeks before everything. Now, so she moves out in October of this one year. All this other shit kind of happens the next year. She moves out. At some point, I believe it's in May, he comes with the 2 kids and he's like, I need a place to stay.
Oh.
So then one of the neighbors, after everything fucking happens, the neighbor's like, you know, there's like garage sales and then there's actually like liquidating your assets. And they were like, this person that Mark had sold, he had sold every piece of furniture that he owned.
Oh, so it wasn't like, I'm getting a new couch, someone buy this couch and these shitty
he sold
t-shirts.
Every single thing he owned.
Yeah.
And then went to his wife, who is estranged and living on her own, and is like, we need a place to stay. And obviously she brings them in.
Yeah.
Young kids, you know? Mm-hmm. Then on the night of July 27th, 1999, everything starts to take a turn for the worse. This was on a Tuesday. I don't know why I needed you to know, but I need you to know what happens over the next 3 days, and I need you to know that it all turned up on a Tuesday.
All right.
I don't know. I don't know why.
It's an important day, I guess.
It just feels bizarro and crazy that like all this fucking chaos starts midweek. For some reason, to me, chaos should be on like a Thursday, Friday, or a Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, confusing.
Don't most people have heart attacks at work at 10 a.m. on Monday? Mm-hmm. That's what I thought.
Anywho, Mark decides to take a hammer and he bludgeons his wife, Leanne, to death, who's only 27 years old.
Whoa. What? What?
Do I really have to repeat it?
No, okay.
Yep. And then he shoves her in a closet.
Fuck.
The next morning, he wakes up on Wednesday, and then he kills his kids, too.
No.
Yes.
What?
So the little sleepy babies, what he ends up doing is he beats them to death with a hammer as well.
What a piece of shit.
This was Matthew David. He was 11 years old, and Michelle Elizabeth, who was only 8. Now, to make everything creepy and wild, he had notes written throughout the house. This is why I told you, when I read the story, I was like, there's too much going on that I can't not tell the story. So one of them is in plain sight on the living room coffee table, and then the other ones were laid on the bodies of his family members.
Oh, no.
He writes, I've been dying since October, which when I read this the first time, didn't realize that's whenever she had moved out. I've been dying since October, wake up at night so afraid, so terrified that I couldn't be that afraid while awake. It had taken its toll. I've come to hate this life and the system of things. I've come to have no hope. He would live, he wrote, only long enough to kill as many of the people who greedily sought my destruction. He had struck all of them, he wrote, with a hammer in their sleep and then put them face down in the bathtub to make sure they did not wake up in pain. He placed a stuffed animal next to his daughter's body and a Game Boy video next to his son's. Mm-hmm. So in his mind...
sounds very disassociative. Like, it sounds like he's like, he did, I don't know. He wrote that, right?
Yes, but what do you mean disassociative?
Like, he's saying he did it, not like, I don't know. Just the way that he sounds like he's trying to distance himself.
Oh, no. When I say he, I'm talking about him writing it. He never says he.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. The whole time I was like, that's a weird way to write.
I have been dying.
Gotcha.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, that's still...
He didn't write, he'd placed a stuffed animal next.
I thought that's what you said. I was like...
No. Wonderboy Media is not only the proud producer of this glorious magic imploring your ear holes right now, but they're also a big deal.
Get in touch with them today to make all of your dreams a freaking reality.
From using their bangin' ass podcast studio,
where we are right now,
to creating amazing videos and editing our content like the mystical mavericks they are.
Your podcast can go further when you have a Wonder Boy.
Hit up Drew today at wboymedia.com.
Or text him day or night at 270.
Just kidding. Noting ever so quickly that Barton had twice constructed a veneer of normalcy with 2 different wives, both now killed, in 2 separate Georgia communities and in 2 distinct careers, because he had great fucking careers. He was a church-going man. He taught Sunday school.
Stop.
He was 6'4". He was a Boy Scout leader. He was also known for canceling appointments to take his children to soccer games. That is what other people saw too.
That's so bizarre.
I know. And the note he left at his apartment, I like how they say his apartment. I'm like, bitch, it's his fucking wife's apartment.
Right.
Mark took special care to deny that he was involved in the murder of Deborah and Eloise Spivey, which is entertaining to me.
Yeah.
He says, quote, "There may be similarities between these deaths and the death of my first wife. However, I did not kill her or her mother. There is no reason for me to lie now." End quote. The letter, which Mr. Barton apparently had wrote near sunrise on Thursday and then left in the Stockbridge, Georgia apartment after he had killed his family, suggested that he was tortured by the estrangement from his wife, by financial issues, and by unexplained fears that he had been having that he wrote at one point, "transferred from my father to me and from me to my son."
Whoa.
Yeah. There were 3 additional brief handwritten notes that were laid beside the bodies of Leanne Barton and the 2 children. One of them said, "I give you Matthew Barton." And they say that it seems like these were like written to God kind of deal. Mm-hmm. And quote, "My son, my buddy, my life. Please take care of him."
Oof.
He described Leanne as my honey, my precious love, even though she apparently had decided to end their marriage of slightly less than 2 years. He killed her, and he wrote, "because she was one of the main reasons for my demise as I planned to kill the others. I really wish I hadn't killed her now. She really couldn't help it, and I love her so much anyway."
What the?
He also writes, "There was little pain. All of them were dead in less than 5 minutes. I hit them with a hammer in their sleep and then put them face down in the bathtub to make sure they did not wake up in pain, to make sure they were dead. I'm so sorry. I wish I didn't."
Are you sorry? Are you? Piece of shit.
He said that he killed his children to exchange, quote, 5 minutes of pain for a lifetime of pain. That's what they called a mercy killing, where they believe that he is killing them as a mercy for them having to go through their life. Now, what I'm intrigued to know is that because you already killed their mother, or the fact that you killed their second mother?
Right.
Is it the fact that you think the world is so terrible that I'm mercifully taking you out of it?
That's bizarre. It's like he's trying to make, like I said, trying to make himself feel better, like he's doing them a favor. Like, I did that to save them, but he probably feels guilty for fucking doing it in the first place.
Yeah. It's an interesting point of view.
Yeah.
At this point, I just feel like he's fucking lost it.
That too.
Like, he's here to cause destruction. He says he wish he didn't and that he's sorry, but this was just the start of it all.
Oh, God. Okay.
So Wednesday, he killed his children, and then Thursday, just before 3 p.m., Mark showed up at 2 stock market day trading firms in the affluent Buckhead neighborhood. He had been there on Monday to discuss additional routine will and estate issues, and he met with Joseph H. Fowler. Fowler had said nothing seemed out of the ordinary. It was a simple meeting. He was there. He said he had issues on Monday.
Yeah.
Came back on Thursday. That Thursday, witnesses at Momentum Securities, Inc., the first firm that he had visited that day, told police that he had commented, quote, that it was a bad trading day and something to the effect that it was going to get worse. So I guess I can't say quote, but they were saying he said it was a bad trading day and it's about to get worse.
Oh, shit.
But he wasn't excited. They weren't like frightened or threatened by him.
Yeah.
He was just a fucking dude. Walked in with shorts and a t-shirt. Yeah.
Okay.
Mark has a casual meeting at Momentum for about 30 minutes. So
Really?
he has this meeting with his advisor, essentially. And then he pulls out 2 pistols at about 2:45 p.m. and starts to open fire in the office.
What the fuck?
He shoots and kills Edward Quinn, 58, who's a day trader. Kevin Dial, 36. He's the office manager. Russell J. Brown, 42, is also a day trader. And then 30-year-old Scott A. Webb, who was a day trader. He left others bleeding on the floor and wounded. After about 5 minutes of shooting, completely helpless people, he crosses a busy street to the All-Tech Investment Group, with everyone inside not being aware of the massacre that just happened literally across the street. Mark enters the office and he talks manager Scott Manspeaker and Brent Doonan into their quarters along with their secretary, Kathy Van Camp. He shoots all 3 of them. Kathy in the face at point blank range, Scott in the stomach and the arm, and he shot Brent 5 times.
Jeez.
They all survived.
Really?
I have no clue. I was lucky enough to find something because they just listed the victims and I was trying to find... And when I saw that, I was like, so he shoots him point blank. He's in an office with them. How is it that they didn't die? And then I finally found one thing that showed all the people, because there were 21 people shot.
Shit.
And then the additional victims. So I was going through and trying to figure out how did they live? How Kathy lived,
She got shot in the face.
in the face. The Brent, who was shot 5 times, he was just a 25-year-old.
Shit.
He then fires indiscriminately into the trading room, which has 30 to 40 people just working. And then I read also that at that point, he specifically started shooting at clients. So I got really confused too, because I don't know if if a client can also be a day trader. Like, it confused me on like everyone's occupation. But it seemed like everyone that died, from what I saw, worked at these 2 firms.
Shit.
A computer was actually thrown out of one of the windows because they were trying to escape. And that was the best way to break the glass.
Oh.
He ends up killing day traders Alan Charles Tenenbaum, who was 48, Dean Delawala, who was 52, Joseph J. Desert, 60, and Jamshid Havash, who was 45. He also kills Vadawati Miralindahara, who is 44, and they were a computer course student at All-Tech Investment Group. In total, at this time, he has killed 12 people in 3 days while injuring 13 additional people.
Jesus.
They said something like he had fired 40 shots. There were terrible injuries involved in this as well. Yusuf Liberzone was 39 years old when he was shot in the head. And he lived, but he was completely disabled afterwards. They say he was calm and determined and simply left the building.
He just walked out.
Yeah. Police and SWAT teams searched the Buckhead area for hours after the shooting, going through 4 buildings in the office complex, floor by floor, escorting the workers to safety. And some of them were trapped in many cases, like hiding under their desks while everyone was searching for Barton. Because at the end of the day, he went and had a meeting.
Yeah.
There wasn't a question of who he was or what he was doing.
Yeah.
He was just a normal client who walked in there and started shooting up the place.
Shit.
Unreal.
That's bizarre.
And he had worked there.
So they knew.
Like, the money lost was his money on his own day trades.
Yeah.
So when he said that he was going after the people who were greedy, he was the one
Oh, yeah, it was him.
who put his, right.
Yeah. That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. Shortly after 8 p.m., Barton's green Ford minivan was seen by police at a gas station in the Cobb County in Georgia. So he never even left Georgia. I feel like by that amount of time, he could have left the state.
Right.
Which was north of Atlanta. Now, he was apparently already, I'm confused by the way I fucking read this. I had thought he was already parked, but I think he was pulled over while pulling in. I don't know the scenario. Okay. But he gets swarmed by these cops. As the cops start to walk up to him, he shoots himself in the head.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. they thought that at that point, they had thought they'll never know what happened. Like, why did this happen? What the fuck, pretty much. But they didn't realize that when they would get to his house, that his family was murdered and there were notes everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He had left his stupid notes.
Yes. James Lee, who was the president of Momentum Securities, Inc., where Mark had killed 4 people, said that he had lost roughly $105,000 during 15 days of securities trading day. What the fuck?
Training.
During 15 days of securities day trading that began on June 9th. So someone else also said, who was close to this whole situation, said that he had a propensity for highly volatile internet stocks. So he had lost a ton of money.
Yeah. He traded poorly.
Yes.
Right.
His wife left him. He lost a ton of money. He was extremely paranoid.
Yeah, and he had mental health issues, so that's a terrible combo.
Yes. Which I believe the paranoia was the mental health issues. Like, I don't know what happened though with the drugs. I don't know about that, because sometimes I can fry something too. But
I want to know how he kept getting those good jobs. Like, right?
Oh, I'm not shocked at all.
I mean, he had all kinds of other shit going on, and he's got
dude's
like,
a resume
really
and no
jobs.
Facebook.
True.
Cake.
Yeah, and a white male in the 1990s. So.
And I'm sure no matter what, they're doing background checks. But I'm also like, the last big job he had was the president of that manufacturing company. Before that, he was a chemist at a company when he met Leanne. Mm-hmm. So after that, he became a day trader. So I don't think, I don't know. I just don't think that job was like that epic. Like, you can be trained to be a day trader. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A college degree and some years with his resume, and it probably looked great, and they just didn't look into it.
They didn't think that he deleted all the files whenever he left. He probably just said he left.
Or he could have said that that's what happened. I did my time, and I was so angry. It was stupid, blah, blah. Like, he could have ate crow.
Who knows? You're right.
I don't know. Mr. Barton's mother, so Mark's mom,
okay,
Gladys, she lives in South Carolina. She released a statement the afternoon that happened.
Is this going to make me mad?
No.
Okay.
She was deeply saddened by the shootings, but that she said she loved her son. She goes, I wish there was some way to explain why this tragedy occurred, or some way it could have been prevented. Like, the mom is like, The
mom's like, what the fuck?
It's not like once you become a grown adult, you're just coming to tell your parents, like, hey, Dad, I have been really paranoid lately. You know, I think that when Travis is in the restroom, that he's texting other women. Like, I wouldn't have those conversations with my parents.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, Heather, so I'm starting to hear voices. Ever since the unsolved murders of his first wife and mother-in-law, in Mark's case, his dad, like, not his dad, I'm sorry, Deborah Spivey's dad and Eloise's husband had been fucking searching and
of course
being crazy, like, not being crazy, but he was pursuing Mark the entire time.
Of course they were.
You're like, you killed my daughter and my wife.
Yeah.
Why aren't we thinking about him?
Yeah.
And so he was like, fuck this. He said, quote, I feel that if those people in Alabama had done their job, that there'd be 12 people alive. He said it in an interview, fighting to contain his outrage.
Obviously,
after everything that happened. He's like, you guys fucked this up.
I mean, yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
They really did.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine. This is why we need Dexter to be a real person. Because what happened if they couldn't go to jail? Dexter would kill them.
Dex would.
For anyone who doesn't know the show, but
banging ass
he was
show.
a serial killer who couldn't help but kill, but he would only kill the bad guys.
Only bad people.
Are you?
For the most part.
Yeah. And then I just wanted to say too, because when I was looking at this, I was like, this was the same year as Columbine, which was the first school shooting.
Oh yeah.
Which is probably why we don't remember this, because Columbine like rocked our world.
Because that would, yeah.
I mean, I know I was in elementary school at the time, but I remember the day Columbine happened.
Yeah,
because they made us all leave school.
That was unheard of.
Yeah.
For sure.
In Indiana. Why? I don't know. Did they make you leave school? They had us like all get picked up.
I don't remember.
I do, because I was like, what the fuck?
I just remember being like, that can't happen here. Just like every time I see anything on TV ever, and then shit
Do you
happens
still feel that
everywhere.
way?
No.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, not anymore. I used to like.
Me too.
I'd be like, oh, that can't happen. And then I'm like, yeah,
Anything can happen anywhere.
that's right.
This was the worst work. This was, golly.
I just saw the disdain.
I just hate myself
You
right
just
now.
got so like self-loathing was a
I
face.
did. I was like, you're stupid cunt. This was the worst mass shooting in Atlanta history at the time.
Oh man.
I just got nervous that I accidentally stapled somebody else like a work paper. I was like, this is my last line of it. But I thought I literally stole someone's paper at work. And it's just someone's contract attached to my paper. Anyway, this was the terrible story of the 1999 Atlanta day trading firm killings by Mark Barton over losses from essentially the stock market.
Isn't
that fucking insane?
Fuck that guy. Fuck him.
I don't even know where to go from here. Because the ending is just shit. Number one, the whole thing is shit.
Yeah.
And you're like, were there red flags? Yes, there were red flags.
A ton.
There were very big American fucking sized outside of
a car dealership.
I wasn't going to say the White House, but yeah, we can do a car dealership. Just those huge flags. But like the fact that he was explosive and he was known for being explosive. And then the fact that he's the president of a company and gets fired and like fucking gets rid of files. That's insane to me.
That's wild.
And he was having an affair and then his wife and her like, no. And that he had taken out a life insurance policy.
4-day, all of that. I feel like, I don't know, outside looking in, it looks like law enforcement could have pushed a little harder.
100%.
I mean, just because they always look at the spouse first, even if it's just a normal human being, let alone somebody who did all of the things who point to every Lifetime movie ever made. Like,
and then like
the kid thing.
The kid thing.
They're just like, oh, well, that sucks.
Just live your life.
Just live your life. She doesn't have anywhere else to go. She has to stay with you, even though she's accusing you of this. All of that is fucked. It's all whacked.
It is.
All of it.
And like, well, good thing after all of this shit, he was able to get guns. Let me also tell you, of those 3 guns, one of them was registered to him lawfully.
How?
I don't know. Oof. He could have bought it at any time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're different every
And
state,
I'm starting
right?
to wonder, I don't know, and I'm sorry for not knowing the answer to this about that data breach and what he did, if that was a felony or not.
Oh, yeah.
Because that wouldn't have mattered in that case for him to have a gun. The second one was registered to a man in Texas. So I'm going to guess he bought it.
Shady.
Well, I could sell my gun right now, and if the other person doesn't register, you know what I mean?
Oh, I'd figure you'd have to.
I think you do now.
Yeah.
This was the introduction to everything, so I'm pretty sure you do. I don't know enough because I don't plan on selling. Right. If I have a gun, I'm not really going to sell. Like, I'm not selling that. My name, my DNA, my DNA's on it, you know?
They're all, and the laws are different every state, right?
Right.
So, who knows?
Well, not that part, but what you could, like, basically if it's concealed carry or where a gun has to be stowed. Like the biggest thing for us, like I've been very open that I carry a 9mm Glock. And one of his guns was that and a .45 pistol. But like when we were on our honeymoon and we drove across the country, we had to check every state we were in to see how you're allowed to have that gun.
Oh yeah.
Like, can you have it in the car? Does it have to be in the camper? Can you have bullets or any, like there's just so many requirements. Mm-hmm. But the third gun, I don't even remember. That was the gun he ended up killing himself with, I believe, in the car. Yeah. He had 200 shotgun shells. Like,
that's so
ammo.
sad.
He had 200 rounds of ammo in his vehicle,
Jesus.
too.
Like, it's so sad. Like, those people are just trying to fucking work. Just trying to make some cash. And this stupid asshole walks in there.
They just went to work. Like,
they literally just went to work.
That's the other thing, too, is like he did it on a Thursday. Like, that's the other part, too, is this whole thing fucking, when it all took place, like, it wasn't a Friday when people probably weren't going to be there, you know, or people were leaving or they're like, and he did it at 3:00.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Yeah.
And yes, there were so many opportunities.
Yeah.
The murder and the molesting, just take those two.
Take one of them.
Take them.
Just one. Ugh.
So it's just terrible.
That is
and there's a reason
bad.
we don't cover mass shootings, mostly because they are all the time and you don't get to talk about the victims, which sucks.
Yeah, I'm glad
and
you found their
feel
names.
Bad.
At least.
But in this particular case, there was a murder and a whole set of other circumstances that happened around this and before it. So anyway, fuck Mark Barton.
Yeah.
Stupid ass.
Yeah, that was sad.
It was very sad. Well, you know what's not sad? Our live event. So please come there.
Yeah. And we love you guys so much. Thank you for listening.
We do. Oh, we made ghosts. Do you think that's what we were going to talk about? Me and Heather were going to talk about something and we were like, we're not going to forget what it was. It literally was right before we came to the studio. We were like, this we're going to talk about before we start the episode. We totally forgot and then just went into it and talked about the live event. But we made little ghosts. Do you think that's what we were going to talk about?
I doubt it.
Oh, man, y'all got to be making them crafts.
Yeah, look up some, they have a lot of DG and Dollar Tree crafts on TikTok. Like Halloween stuff. You just
Sorry, I just tasted blood in my mouth.
Oh, you gave me a look. I was like, what?
I think I bit something in my mouth.
It's like we've seen a lot of those videos together. And the look you gave me, I was like,
I taste blood. What is happening? Anyway, I'm losing it. I need to go home. Don't forget. Don't get mad.
Get sassy.
Bye.
Bye.
This episode was sponsored, edited, and produced by Wonderboy Media. Get the deets at WBOYmedia.com to see how you can make your podcast dreams a reality.
Help us out and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to our audio project. Don't forget, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at, of course, A Couple of Sassholes.
Want more sass? Become a member of our Patreon for bonus content, merch, and more. Plus, we're on Cameo now, so there's even more ways to get the sass you need just how you like it. As always, don't get mad.
Get sassy.
Theodore, can I bet that?